Hello students, this is Christine Makey Diampa, your mathematics teacher. So now we will have lesson 2.3, solving quadratic equations by completing the squares. Solving quadratic equations by completing the squares. So aside from extracting square roots and factoring, another method of solving quadratic equations is by completing the squares. This method involves transforming the quadratic equation ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0 into the form the quantity of x minus h squared is equal to k, where k is greater than or equal to 0. Now, let us have example number 1. So solve the quadratic equation 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 is equal to 0 by completing the square. So now, the very first step is for us to divide both sides of the equation by 2, then simplify. So why we need to divide that 1 by 2? Now, our equation or the value of our a should be 1. Since the value of our a here is 2, we need to divide both sides of the equation by 2 and then we need to simplify. So, the resulting equation will now become x squared plus 4x minus 5 is equal to 0. The next step is for you to write the equation such that the constant term is on the right side. So our constant term here is negative 5. We need to transfer or transpose that one on the other side using addition property of equality. So the form of our equation will now become x squared plus 4x plus blank is equal to 5. So now, that blank there, we need to find or we need to add to the both sides of the equation the square of 1/2 of b. So what is the value of our b? That is 4. 4 divided by 2, the result is 2. Squared, the result is 4. We need to add 4 on both sides of the equation. So now, the form of our equation will become x squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 5 plus 4. So now, express the left side of the equation as a square of binomial. By adding the square of 1/2 of b on both sides of the equation, the left side of our equation became PST or perfect square trinomial. Since the left side of our equation is now a perfect square trinomial, therefore, we can now express that one as a square of binomial. So how can we express that one? All you need to do is to square or to find the square root of the first term x squared, which is x, and then the square root of your constant term, square root of 4, which is 2. Therefore, we can now have the quantity of x plus 2 squared is equal to 5 plus 4, which is 9. So after making our perfect square trinomial as a square of binomial, we can now solve the equation by extracting square roots. So extract both sides of the equation. So the resulting equation will now become x plus 2 is equal to the square root of 9, which is positive negative 3. And then x plus 2 is equal to 3. The result will now become x is equal to, by addition property of equality, 2 will be transferred on the other side. So 3 minus 2, the result will become x is equal to 1. So let us have the other value of our x, which is negative 3. So x plus 2 is equal to negative 3. By addition property of equality, transpose or transfer positive 2 on the other side of the equation. So we will have negative 3 minus minus 2. The result will become negative 5. To check if we have obtained the correct answer, let us do the checking for x is equal to 1. Substitute the value of x, which is equal to 1, to the given equation. 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 is equal to 0. By substitution, 2 times 1 squared plus 8 times 1 minus 10 is equal to 0. 2 times 1 plus 8 minus 10 equal to 0. 2 plus 8 minus 10 equal to 0. So 10 minus 10 is equal to 0. 0 is equal to 0. Therefore, x equal to 1 is correct. So let us have, for x is equal to negative 5, substitute that 1 to the given equation. 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 is equal to 0. By substitution, the equation will become 2 times negative 5 squared plus 8 times negative 5 minus 10 is equal to 0. So, perform the indicated operation. 2 times 25 minus 40 minus 10 is equal to 0. 50 minus 40 minus 10 is equal to 0. So, we'll now have 10 minus 10 is equal to 0. 0 is equal to 0. Therefore, the roots of 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 equal to 0 are 1 and negative 5. So how can we complete the squares? So these are the following steps for us to follow to complete a square. So now first, divide both sides of the equation by a, then simplify. Second step, we have to write the equation such that the terms with variables on the left side of the equation and the constant term is on the right side. Number 3, add the square of 1/2 of the coefficient of x on both sides of the resulting equation. The left side of the equation becomes perfect square trinomial or PST. Number 4, express the PST or perfect square trinomial on the left side of the equation as square of binomial. Number 5, solve the resulting quadratic equation by extracting square root. Solve the resulting linear equations, and then check the solutions obtained against the original equation. For practice, determine a number that must be added to make each of the following a perfect square trinomial. Number 1, x squared plus 2x plus blank. Number 2, t squared plus 20t plus blank. Number 3, r squared minus 16r plus blank. Number 4, x squared minus 15x plus blank. Number 5, w squared minus 2/3 w plus blank. Number 6, s squared minus 3/4 s plus blank. For practice, solve the following quadratic equations by completing the squares. Number 1, x squared plus 3x minus 18 is equal to 0. Number 2, x squared minus 10x is equal to negative 17. So you are given 5 minutes to answer this into your notebook.